And I think a lot of people want to know what the destination is before they take that first step. That you're developing resentment, you're disconnected from who you are. And that hole starts to gnaw, on my soul. No, and you can't put it on a calendar, the end point of this, because you don't even know which direction you're heading. You're flailing before you find any kind of trajectory for yourself. And I think it requires, a deep level of commitment to self and, again, faith to walk a path where you don't know what the next brick is going to look like that's getting laid down in front of you. And I think a lot of people want to know what the destination is before they take that first step, and that's why they never get out of the gate. But I think, your story makes perfect sense. Mine is certainly analogous. But I think as a result of that, my interior experience was to feel like being myself was not safe or okay. I was already insecure. And so as a survival mechanism, you have to figure out a costume or a mask to wear to avoid the pitfalls of being bullied. I'm a chronic people pleaser. Only in recent years have I really worked hard to try to deconstruct that. And it's something that is also pernicious. And so you go out of your way to make everyone else happy. But as a result of that, none of your own needs are getting met. You're developing resentment. You're disconnected from who you are. And that hole starts to gnaw, on my soul. I was a sensitive, artistic kid who had all these weird interests and would rather hide in a corner and read a book. But I adopted the persona of an athlete and an academically inclined person. And I got the accolades and I got into all the schools and perpetuated on that hamster wheel as long as I could, until the axle broke and the whole thing fucking collapsed on top of me in order to, have a reckoning with it and understand that we don't have to earn love. Like, love is unconditional. That sums it up. It's funny, I went through like a 7-year financial dismantlement. Like, we almost had our house repossessed. I had our cars repossessed. I couldn't pay for the garbage bins. Like, it was bad. And I think with that was a tremendous amount of emasculation and a huge resurgence of all the insecurities and fears that I harbored as a child. Then I get sober and I can't figure out this career thing. And I was as broke as ever. And then I'm not even drinking and I can't figure it out. And then I'm like, I'm going to go be an ultra athlete when I have little kids and a mortgage. There's no career path in that. And I just thought, maybe I'm insane. Like, I honestly thought there was a bunch of moms and I'm the only guy, while also believing at the same time that I was an utter failure because I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I didn't have a sense of what I should do or shouldn't do, and really starting to believe that nothing was ever going to happen for me. And frankly, the success that I have now is embarrassing because I never would have thought it possible. So my relationship with success now is very different than it would have been had I achieved it earlier or easier, I guess. It would be a capacity to suffer, a willingness to do hard shit, and a very high pain tolerance. But I also realized very quickly that there was an equation between work and results. And that equation was pure arithmetic for me. And the more I worked, the narrower that gap, that talent deficit gap, it tells it you're capable of anything, but the only way that you're going to get there is by suffering. Suffering is your success equation. And that was a success equation. And so I've carried that my entire life.